All right, man, we got a Clippers-Nuggets Game 7. Feels kind of destined with this series. We also have the Knicks going on to round 2. We'll talk Brunson and his crazy shot over Asar and other things on that one. But we will start with Clippers-Nuggets. And, outside of the dicey fourth quarter where the Clippers' energy just kind of died and they were taking too long to get into sets, and it felt like they were a little too obsessive with the Murray switch, especially Harden, and he was being pressured by Brown early on, stuff like that on those possessions. They did build up that lead, and a lot of it in that third quarter where the Nuggets just kind of had a disaster stretch. Was it a coincidence that Batum was out there for pretty much all these minutes? Probably not. He did a hell of a lot of things in this one. I mean, early on in that second half, you've got him getting open when Harden goes at Jokic on a screen, and that was one of the times where Jokic was high up on the action because it felt like he was dropping back more often in this game in the first half, unless I'm just wrong there. And then you did have a couple of plays where it felt like the Clippers were dabbling a little bit more on just swarming somebody with the ball. They did it to Murray, which that's scary because then Jokic was open middle to make a play for MPJ. Another time Christian Brown got a three, but then they also kind of swarmed Jokic on a couple of plays, and it actually kind of worked. Now, he bulldozed them when they tried this one time or a couple times in the first half in the small lineup, but there were three guys on him for a miss at the rim. Another time they got a turnover out of him from just a bunch of bodies on him. And then, Gordon takes a bad three and misses. Kawhi makes a step back three on the other end. Gordon loses the ball against Norm Powell. Zoo switches onto Murray, and then Murray's like, I don't know what to do. And then he throws a grenade to Russ, who gets the shot clock. Zoo blocks Jokic in the post, twice, I believe, but once specifically in this disaster stretch for the Nuggets. Powell makes some floaters. He was cooking in this game. And it does still feel like whenever they remember that the Powell, DHO to go at Jokic option is a thing, he has been able to cook on floaters, at least through parts of this series. And then Batum plays some good defense on Murray. Harden does beat Murray on a switch before I think eventually being a little too obsessed with it later on or taking too long to get into it, whatever, in the fourth. Yeah, before you know it, the Clippers are up 15, and okay, we go to a Game 7. And the beauty of a Game 7 is I don't know what the hell's going to happen, man. Okay, remember the play-in game before the play-in game? With the Warriors and the Clippers, where the loser was basically guaranteed a play-in thing. What did Chris Dunn do in that game? He made 3 threes and made 2 huge plays in the middle of the floor where they left him open. Could happen in the next one. Now, I do think as the series has gone on, the Nuggets have been more aggressive with just kind of not caring about Derek Jones or Chris Dunn. I mean, Chris Dunn played 10 minutes in this game, and that was after going 6 for 7 from the field in the last game. We'll see there. We will see if the Clippers try more of these, just very occasional moments of, let's just send, 3 guys at Jokic and see what happens. Which, occasionally, you can't overwhelm him with that stuff. If it's a double where he knows where it's coming, then you're just screwed. It's going to be an open shot for somebody. MPJ, I don't know what the hell's going to happen with MPJ. I feel for him because of the shoulder injury, and then you've got Harden where, hey, listen, the Harden roast session that would have happened if he did not play well tonight, it did not happen. Kudos to him for that. Looked pretty spry, coming around screens, the whole thing. He's going to have to do it in the next game. We're going to see a whole bunch of Kawhi turnaround jumpers. We're going to see, I don't know what we're going to see. That's going to be the beauty of it. I will just say, for both teams, whether it's Chris Dunn picking up Murray, in full court possessions, or Christian Brown picking up Harden in full court stuff, anything you can do to just be annoying as possible. Aaron Gordon just being relentless attacking the glass. Whoever can find the edge in any type of way, I don't know. That's, the beauty of a Game 7. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? But I imagine the Clippers are going to, at some point, potentially from tip-off, get really ruthless with trying to put Murray in switches and all that. We will see if Jokic just gets as physical as he has to, backing down Zoo in the post, where again, Zoo had a couple of blocks on him in this one, and that's going to zap Jokic's energy more than posting up on a lot of guys. We will see the non-Jokic minutes. We'll see the minutes when Zoo isn't out there, and just, whether it's Batum on him, or Harden on him, or Powell on him, and then we got to throw multiple bodies. It's going to be a good time. We'll just see what else happens. And also, Russell Westbrook in a Game 7. They are going to dare him to take every single jump shot. They're going to go under any screen. They're going to tell him go ahead from anywhere. And he's making enough shots in this series now to be I don't know what's going to happen there. Should be a good time. Okay. Knicks, Pistons. The Jalen Brunson shot was great. Love it. Love the crossover. I mean, he had Asar starting basically glued to him on the top of the key. And then in one move, Asar's basically on the wing. Now, Brunson took a crazy amount of shots in this game, and there were definitely some moments of there's a lot of dribbling from Jalen Brunson right now. But also, tough shot making is cool. Dude, the one where he was underneath the basket and Schroeder was all over him and he did the Nash dribble to keep the play alive, it legit looked like he was going to fall down. He went from falling down to spinning into a routine layup. How do you do that? If I can just talk about a few Knicks defensive possessions late there, you got a play where they double Cade, and then he has to make this pretty tough skip pass to the other side of the floor. But they also somehow managed to pack the paint as well, to where Schroeder didn't just have a wide open drive. You have Cat stealing the inbound, that one was just bad for the Pistons. And then when Cat fouled out, you had Mitch and OG pull off this great play of rim protection on a Cade screen action where, I mean, if Cade was actually going to make this shot, he would have had to hit the backboard at such a creative angle. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, the rim protection was crazy with just Mitch and OG in the paint. I do also want to point out just the amount of really nice drives or plays in transition or putbacks by Hart, McHale, and OG should not be forgotten in this game. I mean, Josh Hart late there, he rejected a screen with Cat, which just freaked out the whole Pistons defense. I think he got by Asar on this play, and it was a swing to, I think it was McHale for a three, I don't know. To open up the game, it felt like they had a lot of success with the Brunson Cat two-man game, and it felt like they had a moment of like, who cares if Tobias is on him, just do the screen anyway. And they did start to lean on that more later on, and I mean, Brunson made some tough ones. There was one time where he was trying to get the switch, and they kind of hedged it, and he was open for a second for a three. I mean, Brunson took like 30-something shots in this game. It was a crazy amount, and Cat did not play very great, and yeah, it's going to be a running theme against the Celtics. I mean, basically everything the Pistons threw at the Knicks, the Celtics can just do better while being a better offensive team. But hey, man, shout out to the Pistons. Yeah, we all know about the non-call at the end of one of the games. Obviously, many things happened in the series besides that, but yeah, I'm not going to just forget about it completely. Look, Asar did have some great defensive plays on Brunson in this one, including one, I think, not long before the shot that we're all going to remember from this game with Brunson. Duran was able to take advantage of some two to the ball on Cade, and they just kept fighting, man. Beasley made enough transition threes, unfortunately dropped the one at the end. Cade made enough nice passes out of two to the ball. Asar made enough transition plays. Like they were just going to fight until the very end. I mean, Hardaway made this crazy tough three where Cat guarded it pretty well, and it was a big shot for them, I think, as they made their second quarter comeback. They made like multiple comebacks in this game when it felt like the Knicks were going to pull away. And hey, man, the fight the Pistons had in this series, the season they had overall, there's not a single negative thing to say about anything with the Pistons. Sure, just like every other team, they got things to figure out long term, but it was a joy to watch them in this series, and the amount of times that they were up in this series or just kind of dictating the pace or really putting pressure on the Knicks with, as I said a million times, Cade putting Brunson in action, then he's going to hedge and OG's going to come back, but because OG's coming back on him, you got Cade able to like get inside a little bit or whatever. He had a nice post score and that type of thing in this one. It was a good time. It was a fun time watching them, and I should get going on a Knicks-Celtics playoff preview thing. You know who I'm going to pick to win, but we're still going to do the whole thing. And yeah, man, that's about all I got. I don't want to have it be forgotten, like OG and McHale. I'm not going to say specific plays too much. Those two are really good. I mean, OG had a great, like, cooking Asar in a 1v1 early on when the Knicks were establishing the early lead, which still matters because the Pistons had to fight to get back. And then it just felt like McHale was constantly putting pressure on them in transition. Of course, there was the dunk on Cade that was nice. And then actually both of them had that nice little two-man game thing where, like, you know, McHale kind of DHO'd to OG, and then Duran and Cade were like, what do we do? And then he's downhill, or Brunson did a little like DHO and screen for McHale to get a three. Anyway, I'm done talking.